Lesson 3.6 was titled, What are some other properties related to perpendicular lines that are helpful for problem solving? We started with a concept with a point and a line, and we said, what's the distance between the point and the line? And so there's a lot of different choices you have. You can measure this distance, or this distance, or this distance. So the typical way to do it, all right, the agreed upon way, the standard is to measure the length of this shortest segment, which is the segment that is perpendicular to the line. Alright, just wanted to cover that concept to begin with. This lesson was nothing but a bunch of little theorems, such as, if two lines intersect and they form a linear pair of congruent angles, they have to be perpendicular. If two lines intersect and there's a 90-degree angle, they're perpendicular. That means all four angles are going to be 90. How do we know that? Well, let me just try and cover this up. If that's 90, well, we know that these two angles form a linear pair. There's a line. Here's two angles. If that's 90, then that has to be 90. And then we know vertical angles are congruent. So that's why you can automatically conclude if you have one angle 90, all four of them are. If you have two intersecting lines, we had this theorem that said, if you have two angles right next to each other and they are perpendicular, the two sides of the two angles are perpendicular, and then they add up to 90. They're complementary. We did an example, and some students made the mistake of saying from this picture, oh, this blue angle is equal to this green angle, x minus 25 equals 20. But nothing in this picture shows those two angles congruent. Doesn't show the congruent symbol, doesn't say it in words, doesn't say that this is a bisector. But what this does show is that we have a perpendicular 90-degree angle, so this blue plus this green equals 90 degrees, solve for x. Finally, the last theorem is kind of neat. It says if you have two lines and they're both perpendicular to the same line, right, as such, you can automatically conclude that this blue and this red line are parallel. Why is that? Well, if I flip this, it's going to shift a little, we see that we have two corresponding angles. That was, I think, lesson 3.3, 3.4. If the corresponding angles are congruent, then you got two parallel lines. Alright, so that was the corresponding angles converse. Alright, so those are just a bunch of concepts for this lesson. Thanks for watching.